Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. Today I have a deck that is basically trying to do one thing. It's trying to get value out of Barilzar's Tinkering. Barilzar's Tinkering, of course, is a pretty popular action in this game. It's very RNG dependent. Uh, this effect, it transforms a creature into a random creature that costs one more. And it has Betray, so this effect can be used twice if you sacrifice a creature to play this again during your turn. Tinkering can be used to disgusting efficiency when you play it on cards that are like already very high in their cost. So Ancano, Laneth, Devaith, Mirac, that's a good reason to run those, alongside the fact that they're just really solid cards. So I'm going to be going through, now that I've explained the general theme of the deck, I'm going to be going through and explaining why each individual card is here. So starting off, the Crown Quartermaster might throw some of you guys off. Like, what is this card doing in this deck? Well, the simple answer is that it is super cheap. It provides, a summon effect, which it gives you decent value, and it has a decent stat line. So the Crown Quartermaster being a one cost in a deck where we can't boost our Magicka is fantastic. Uh, all that we want to do with this thing, ideally, as the game goes on, is throw it down and then use it as a target to sacrifice for tinkering on our bigger stuff. So again, the fact that it's a one cost is great. It's also really good in the early game. So if we can get this thing down on turn one, our opponent might be a little bit annoyed and they'll have to contest that because a 2-1 is annoying. If we equip the dagger, it could be a 3-1 and then we're just pounding away at our opponent's face. So Crown Quartermaster is a very solid choice. Ice Spikes, these are our well, they work as reach and they work as draw. So they deal 2 damage to an opponent and they draw a card. The 2 cost on them is extraordinarily efficient as well. As far as draw goes, it might be one of the best draw cards that we have at our disposal in this deck, so I really, really like it. And I think that I mention this all the time, but I love having Thorana and Ice Spike in the same deck because it leads to a potential OTK where you continue drawing 0 cost Ice Spikes and duplicating them with Thorana. So I always love that that option is like potentially there. It's really really low, but it could happen. Shrieking Harpy, moving on. It's another 2-1, but this time for 2. Ideally, we'd be playing this on Prophecy, though. The Prophecy is that it shackles an enemy creature, or rather, the summon effect when you play it from Prophecy is that it shackles an enemy creature. So this can basically be used to halt aggro, it can prevent your opponent from having lethal on you, and it can provide a warm body on the board for you to utilize on your next turn to kind of counter your opponent. So Shrieking Harpy is a very solid card, perhaps one of the best prophecies in Intelligence, and maybe one of the best prophecies in the game. Wardcrafter does not have prophecy. It has the same stat line though as Crown Quartermaster, Harpy, um, well, just Crown Quartermaster and Harpy. And the summon effect is basically why you run this. It's very, very good. You give a ward to whatever creature that you want. It could be a friendly creature, could be an enemy creature. I often, if I'm going to lose a match and I know I'm going to, and I have a ward crafter in hand, I'll throw her down and give a ward to my opponent. But yeah, you can give any creature ward. It's really good, and especially when you combo with Wardcrafter's bestie, the Daggerfall Mage. So the Daggerfall Mage has ward to start. It's a 2/2 for 3. And when Daggerfall Mage's ward is broken, you put a Tome of Alteration into your hand. The Tome of Alteration is a +2/+2 item that has the summon effect of drawing a card. So this is another form of draw. It's a little bit more costly than our Ice Spike, obviously, but we don't have to damage our opponent for it, so that's kind of a plus because sometimes using an Ice Spike can break your opponent's rune and also give them a card. So Tome of Alteration, a little bit more of a defensive choice as well as it can lean into aggression with that 2/2 stat line being added to whatever card you play it on. And of course, when the Daggerfall Mage's ward is broken, you can put another ward on her with the Ward Crafter. So it's a very good combo. Golden Initiate. So I wanted a lot of cards that could be sacrificed. Crown Quartermaster can be sacrificed with Tinkering, so can Harpy after it's played, so can Wardcrafter. Even Daggerfall Mages can at a certain point in the game, and so can Golden Initiates. Now, Golden Initiate is the highest attack creature that we've had so far. It's also got Prophecy and Drain. There's really not much brain power that went into putting Golden Initiate into this list. It's just that I was really low on Drain and I wanted more Prophecies. So bada bing, bada boom, Golden Initiate seemed to fit the bill. It's kind of the go-to I'm out of ideas in my willpower deck, so you throw Golden Initiate in because it's a solid option and you can't really go wrong with it. especially when you get tomes on the Golden Initiate. So that's one of the synergies that I really love with this card. Is you can kind of keep a bunch of tomes in your hand and steel daggers, and then you can put them onto Golden Initiate, and your opponent's usually not ready to face like a a 7/7 Golden Initiate. So just keep that in mind whenever you play. Mage's Trick, it's another form of draw. If you're playing in a deck that has access to specific cards, like this card can only be played by decks that have Mage in their colors, so I think that generally as a rule, it's a good idea to at least put one of those cards in the deck that you're building because why not? You know, unless it's a card that doesn't really make sense. But like in the Sorcerer video I just did, I had Sorcerer's Negation in there because it's just a very solid card. And the same can be said with Mage's Trick. So Mage's Trick is a 3-cost action that does 3 things. It deals 1 damage, it gains 1 health, and it draws a card. Mage's Trick can be used on anything, so we could use it to break the ward on our Daggerfall Mage, for instance. We can use it on our opponent's face to do a little bit of damage, or we could just use it on a creature on the board, on our opponent's creatures, to try to weaken them or get a kill on them, potentially. It's very good. Any card that does more than one thing is usually very good to have. So Mage's Trick fits the bill for exactly what we're trying to do with this deck. We're trying to basically find Barilzar's Tinkering and a big creature, um, and Mage's Trick will help us get there with a little bit of health gain too. Elusive Schemer, I was so sad I was not able to throw this into the Mana Marco deck that I just did, but he's back. So the Elusive Schemer is a 4-cost 3/1. Not the best stat line really, but it has the summon effect of drawing a card, which of course we love to see. The last gasp is that you shuffle a 0-cost Elusive Schemer into your deck. So that is basically just when Elusive Schemer dies. That's what the last gasp effect is. You get a new one placed further into your deck. Now, Elusive Schemer can also, you might notice, function as a target for tinkering, because if we sacrifice it, we just get a new one automatically shuffled into our deck. So very solid cards, very good draw, and we would like to see them as early as possible to get the 0-cost ones into the pool for later on. Hive Defender, I have talked about Hive Defender a few times on the channel. I really like it. I think it's maybe my favorite guard, especially with the uh, what was it, the Isle of Madness or Shivering Isles event alternate art here. It's really really awesome. It is a 4-cost guard with a 3/6 stat line, and it's just extraordinarily solid. So there's not a whole lot that can kill Hive Defender. We of course are running a card that could kill him with Spirit Knife, but usually, generally speaking, it would take 2 Lightning Bolts to kill a Hive Defender. It would take 2 Golden Initiates to kill 1 Hive Defender. It would take 2 Elusive Schemers. It would take 3 Harpies or 3 Ward Crafters or 3, well, I guess 2 Crown Quartermasters, but you get my point. He's very, very beefy. He doesn't have the best attack, but he does have supreme defense with the 6 stat line. And for such a cheap card, it just made sense to throw him in here for lack of guards. You know, Lightning Bolt is what we're going to move on to next. This is an amazing action. It's a 4-cost, it deals 4 damage, and it has Prophecy. So I've won several games off the back of a Prophecy Lightning Bolt, which always feels really bad to play against, but it feels so, so satisfying when you're the one who gets to kill your opponent. Um, Lightning Bolt also can be used to attack anything. So you can even kill yourself with Lightning Bolt. You can just point it right at your face and kill yourself, which I've done before, and I hope that I don't get demonetized in the future for saying that. But yeah, so you can use it on yourself. Sorry, my phone just went off. Um, Lightning Bolt's really good though. Okay, moving on, we've got Irene. So not to be confused with Dominion Queen Irene or whatever the Aldmeri card is, but this is the OG Irene from the base game. She's a 5/5 for 5, only can be played in Mage decks. And the summon effect is that you draw a random action from your discard pile, and your actions cost 1 less. So you'll notice we're running 20 actions. Irene is going to be giving us a total of 20 Magicka discounted for all of our cards, which is pretty awesome, and she's going to give us a full refund on 1 card. Now, if we play Irene early enough, we can actually pretty much guarantee what action we want to have pulled back, because let's say that all that we've played is a Piercing Javelin by the time we get Irene. If we throw her down, we'll know that we're going to be getting a Piercing Javelin back, because that's just the only thing in our discard pile. So you can think strategically with Irene, or you can play a bunch of actions and then just play her down and see what you get back. There's a lot of actions in this deck that I would like to see back. Ice Spike, Mage's Trick, Lightning Bolt, Spirit Knife, Ice Storm, pretty much every single action would be good to get back from Irene. So very solid card. Moving on, we have Piercing Javelin. Piercing Javelin is a 5 cost with the Prophecy tag, and it just flat out destroys a creature. It's really, really good. Highly recommend it for anyone playing Willpower. There's usually not a good reason to not throw this in your deck, unless you're trying to do something very specific. Okay, Thorana, she has an even beefier stat line than Hive Defender. She might have the most insane stat line to cost ratio out of anyone. So she's a 5 cost, 3/8 creature. And after you play an action, you shuffle 3 0 cost copies of that action into your deck. So Irene will be giving us a discount on our actions, but Thorana will straight up cut the price by 100% and give us 3 more. It's a very, very busted effect, and it can be used on every one of our actions at 12 Magicka on the same turn. So, let's say that, for instance, with Thorana, we only need 7 Magicka to play her and Ice Spike on the same turn. We only need 8 to play her and Mage's Trick on the same turn. We only need 9 to play her and Lightning Bolt on the same turn. You get what I'm saying. The major combo comes with Spirit Knife, which I'll just jump ahead and talk about right now. You deal 7 damage to a creature and you draw a card. I can't really understate how valuable it is to have 3 more 0 cost copies of Spirit Knife in your deck. So if we ever get the opportunity with Thorano to Spirit Knife something, we should do it. And one thing that's crazy with Thorana's insane stat line is that you can actually use Spirit Knife on her, and you'll still shuffle them in because she won't die. So she's a crazy card. She's really just insane, and we love to play with her in Intelligence. Okay, Conjuration Scholar. This is a very, very important card for this combo. So the Conjuration Scholar, you'll notice, has a very bad stat line. It actually probably has the worst stat line out of any card that we've talked about, despite being the highest cost creature we've reviewed thus far. The reason for that is that the summon effect of the Conjuration Scholar is that she summons a 5/5 Frost Atronach with Guard, so that would be the second guard in our list, which is very valuable to have. Uh, and we love running Conjuration Scholar because we get a ton of value out of her. So if we play this, she generates a very tough guard for our opponent to deal with, and we can use Barilzar's Tinkering on the Conjuration Scholar to get her up to an 8/8 if we have a Quartermaster, a Harpy, a Wardcrafter, etc. on the board to combo with her as the sacrifice. So super, super cool card. You can get this thing up to a 12 cost under the right conditions, and it's just super sick to see. Your opponent usually isn't expecting it, but this combo is pretty well known by a lot of people, so sometimes when you see a Conjuration Scholar and you're facing a deck like Mage or even Sorcerer, it might be a good idea to kill the Conjuration Scholar and then deal with the Frost Atronach later, so that way your opponent can't get an 8-cost creature right out the gate. Now, with that said, the Frost Atronach, of course, is a 5-cost creature, so it could become a 7-cost creature as well if they just decide to tinker on that. So really, either way, um, you're kind of in danger when Conjuration Scholar comes out, but usually 8-cost creatures are better than the 7-cost creatures. Okay, moving on to Ice Storm. Ice Storm's not very deep. It's a 6-cost action, and it deals 3 damage to all creatures. The major thing with Ice Storm is that as the game has gone on, Ice Storm, in my opinion, gets less and less value um, from the creatures that have been introduced. So there are a lot of creatures now that are extremely hard to board wipe. Generally, it will take 2 Ice Storms to clear a board, and if you're facing something like Ayleid Guardians, which I have ranted about ad nauseum, anyway, Ice Storm can be really good under the right conditions. It will kill most of the stuff on our board, you'll notice, but sometimes that's a sacrifice that we have to make because, we might be playing from behind a bit. We do have some decent stuff to play in the kind of early game portion, but if our opponent messes up our Tinkering combo, we don't really have a whole lot in the way of actually making something happen. Now, with that said, I have won games with this deck with just the Frost Atronachs from Conjuration Scholar, or just Golden Initiates with Tomes. So don't be too stressed if your tinkering plans have gotten messed up. Don't just quit the game. There's definitely ways to win, but we're kind of running out of more. as the game goes on. So ice storms are a good way to kind of just get a hard reset and think about what your next course of action is going to be if you're behind. Spirit Knife, I already talked about it. Moving on. Ancano. Oh, actually, well, I'll talk about that in a second. So Ancano, he's an 8 cost 5/5. He is really good, one of the best cards in blue. Definitely one of the best legendaries in blue. His effect is that he has breakthrough, and his summon is that he deals 5 damage. And this is just his active effect. All of your actions gain breakthrough. So you'll notice we won't be getting too much value from that. I mean, Lightning Bolt getting breakthrough is cool. Ice Storm could get some value from breakthrough, but the real thing that's cool is Spirit Knife. Spirit Knife, if there's a creature out on the board with 1 health, you can use the Ancano Spirit Knife combo to deal 6 damage to your opponent with the breakthrough, which is super, super cool. So that's what I wanted to talk about before. Ancano is really sweet, and he can be used for Barilzar's Tinkering if we've gotten all the value from him that we need. So, yeah, very solid choice. Uh, Lonith, she's a 6/6 for 9. She just draws a card of our choice from our deck, which is a super powerful effect, and pretty unparalleled. I mean, there's cards like Crucible Blacksmith, which cost way less, but they're just getting an item, so it's more limited. She can get anything out of the deck that she wants. And one thing that's super cool about that is that if we're at turn 11, we can use her to pull a Tinkering out of our deck and then use it directly on her. Very fun combo to mess around with. Devaith Fear. So Devaith Fear is a big part of this combo. He is an 11 cost, 6/6, so same stat line as Lonith, but not the same Magicka cost. And he deals 6 damage to a random enemy. This can be an enemy creature or your actual opponent. At the start of your turn, Devaith Fear summons a Daughter of Fear. The Daughter of Fear is an exact copy of Devaith Fear, basically, minus the summons a Daughter of Fear. So, the Daughter of Fear is an 11 cost. We can, of course, use Tinkering on our 11 cost Daughter of Fear as well. So, basically, he's a big creature that generates other big creatures, which is very fun. And the 6 damage is nothing to joke about. Miraak is our final card. He's an 11 cost, and he's a 5/5. So his summon effect is that he steals an enemy creature. I think at this point you can probably guess what we might want to do with Miraak and what we might want to do with the enemy creature. We might want to play Barilzar's Tinkering on whatever creature he pulls or on Miraak himself. So with that said, that's basically the deck. I think that I did it justice for the most part. I apologize in post if I can't clear out some of the big deep breaths that I've taken, because I definitely noticed that I took some. But I've been a little bit sick. I don't know, there's like something going on with my chest sternum area where it feels like I have to manually breathe. So maybe not the best time to be recording Legends, but yeah, whatever. I need something to take my mind off of it anyway. So maybe if I don't talk about it, it'll go away. Anyway, I will see you guys on the other side. Thank you. Okay, we're up against Steve0300, the Daedric Master, on Daggerfall. Usually when I see Daggerfall, that kind of tells me that I have a higher chance of winning. I like to clown on Daggerfall decks quite a bit, but I enjoy Daggerfall decks quite a lot too. So, I can make fun of them. Okay, what this opening hand tells me is that we're going to be kind of playing around Ice Storm for the first 6 turns and maybe letting our opponent get a favorable board state and then ruining it. So we'll see how that goes, because as I kind of mentioned in the deck explanation, Ice Storm is not super fashionable to run these days. It's more about, um, super aggro and whatnot. And now that we have 2 Daggerfall mages, the Ice Storm actually increases in value because it can crack the wards on our own mages, which would be cool. But yeah, so now we're just waiting for Steve to play. Okay, and there's that Crown Quartermaster I was talking about. I think the plan actually is to play Daggerfall Mage, field lane. Now, I cracked a ring charge to do that. The reason that I did that is because I know what my plan is next turn. So I would not recommend, like, if I didn't have another 3-cost creature, like if I didn't have something to play next turn, I wouldn't have cracked my ring there, most likely. I could see reasons to do it, but I think generally speaking, you want to have a follow-up if you're going to be wasting an entire ring charge on something. Because then you can't react if your opponent does something that you don't like. And my plan for next turn is just to play the other Daggerfall Mage and see how he reacts to that. But it's looking like it's going to be one of those matches where we're going to be waiting a little bit. But with the power of editing, you'll see... Oh, never mind. I was going to do like a jump cut or something, but didn't have to. Okay, so this comes to kind of an interesting point where I could play the Daggerfall Mage or the Golden Initiate. I think it makes more sense to play... Well, actually, I don't know. I'll throw the Initiate down, actually. Because of that combo I mentioned before about using the Tome on the Initiate. Might not be something that he's cognizant about. Okay, he fears the Daggerfall Mage, as all men should. Okay, so he gets the Enchanted Ring off. 2 Enchanted Rings, actually. That's pretty big. And we don't have silence effects in this deck, so we would need to Barilzar's Tinkering onto like a Shadowbent Priest or something like that in order to silence this guy. So those rings are just going to be in the discard pile now if he finds the third one. I forgot to check how many cards he's on. Looks like 75. So if he actually finds the third one, we could kind of be in for something annoying. And I think we're actually going to be in for something super annoying because he's going to have something to play here. And that's going to draw him 2 cards. Oh, no, that's just the summon effect for the ring. My bad. Okay, now this is a great example of what I was... Oh, actually... Yeah, sorry. Plans have changed. So we're going to use this opportunity to crack our ward, and then we're going to play Barilzar's Tinkering to get rid of his rings. Feels bad, but we kind of had to. Yeah, feels bad. I apologize. I love Enchanted Ring, but I couldn't really let my opponent do that. And now, I think what I'm going to do is just focus on playing an Ice Storm on the next turn. So, yeah, perfect. Oh, perfect. Please don't play an item. Oh my god. Yeah. There we go. And now the right move is actually just to wait. Steve is not giving up. He's playing his turns faster. I think I've infuriated him. Okay, the Covenant Masterpiece. That kind of is a little annoying to see. We, of course, can play Schemer. Okay, we got a Tinkering, too, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to throw down both of those. And we actually can deal with this, provided that he doesn't put a whole bunch of ridiculous items on there. And I'm kind of curious, too. Oh, the Covenant Oath, man. I was wondering how his loot was so buffed up. Okay, he might kill me if I if I have another Barilzar's Tinkering to play on this. We also, I don't know if you guys know, that's pretty good. Shackle that. We could see up here which card got the buff, so it's this third one. Now, me, being a moron, will probably forget about that, but can't say that I didn't say it. Okay, we get the Schemer in the discard pile, which kind of sounds like a band name. And then we'll put on 1 tome, and I'll just cycle my tomes, actually. 1 tome, 2 tome, red tome, blue tome. And we'll wait again, because I would kind of like him to be at or near 1 card a turn before we start really putting up a big fight. Monster Perfection Lab. This card is weird, isn't it? How does this card work? Okay, so he's at 1 a turn, which is nice. We could play Thorana on Tinkering, but is that something that I'm interested in right now? I don't really think so. He does have threats, which I need to be aware of. Also, tinkering onto this is probably a bad idea because it's a 5 cost. So I was totally okay with tinkering on the Daggerfall Phantom or whatever it is because that thing was trash. It's a 2 cost creature. It could have been anything, and I don't fear most 3 costs. So I think we'll maybe put up a bit of a defense. Play Hive Defender. This could be incorrect. Actually, that was incorrect. In hindsight, I wish I'd played Laneth and then Ice Storm, but that's okay. So I've got 5 Magicka left. I think we can get away with a Golden Initiate, a Ward Crafter, and don't want to use my ring. We'll do that. And yeah, that was a long turn, but I think that I've got a decent idea for next turn. Just wanted to make sure that I had a bit of a board presence first. Okay, Gardener likely needs to go. And he's actually... Oh, wow. He really is full sending it. This would become a 4... Oh. Oh. Would he just leave the game if I took one of those? Choose a friendly creature wielding 3 or more items. If you do, sacrifice monster Perfection Lab. That's such a weird card. Yeah, that is very weird. So, I feel like I have to be mean to him again, which I don't necessarily like, but if we're trying to win, it's probably what I should do. How about this? How about we play this? We'll let him have a little bit of fun. I'm going to grab Javelin. Or Devaith. I'm gonna play safe. I'm gonna grab the Javelin. Play Barilzar's Tinkering here. Okay, Marquinaz is pretty cool. We'll play it on this. Because we have plans to sacrifice this. If we get a Mirac, we steal his Gardener. Okay, so there we go. That was my idea. And now we'll wait again. And now we have another Mirac, a Piercing Javelin, and this is kind of why I like to mock item decks because, or specifically Daggerfall item decks, because they have 75 cards in them and just nothing to do after they run out of stuff, right? Yeah, and that's kind of what I expected. So we'll attack him a few times, but I might have rage quit too, I'll be honest. It's definitely annoying to deal with. All right, finally our turn again. And just to kind of showcase this, because Steve's not here, this is how the... Oh, I guess okay, there we go. This is how the combo would have worked with Spirit Knife. Anyway, we'll finish this game up, and we'll move on to the next one. Good game, Steve. Sorry about that. All right, we're up against Lane God, the Lich. They're on Crusader, and they are on... Don't like this hand. Maybe against Crusader, Ice Storm's not bad, actually. I'll keep that. They're on a 50-card Crusader deck, so that's pretty cool. Our opening hand doesn't look great, but I think I did mention in the deck explanation that sometimes we'll be... I never know what to say when I get hit with the luck to your house, because I think I just have, like... Greetings. What was I saying? Oh yeah, we may be playing from behind at some points in this deck, so... that's one thing with the Shrieking Harpy and like the Hive Defender that they're super good at is halting kind of aggro decks, and Crusader is generally aggro. If it's Crusader Invade, that would bum me out, and if it's Crusader Dragons, that would bum me out. Other than that, happy to play against some Crusader. So I just beat Alan Wake 2 a few days ago, and that was a work of art. It was incredible. I love Alan Wake 1. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And so, I don't know, just getting able to see the character again after so long. Now, I only played the game for the first time after... Thank you. I only played Alan Wake 1 for the first time in like 2019 maybe. So I'm not like super attached to the character, but I absolutely loved the game itself. So just super happy to see the game. And you'll notice that we have a lot of tools to deal with this. Now that sucks to see, but we do have Shrieking Harpy. We've got Lightning Bolt as well if it gets super out of hand. So not all is lost. But yeah, I don't know. If you haven't played Alan Wake 2, and if you play on PC, don't worry about the fact that it's on the Epic Games launcher, is what I would say, because it worked fine for me. Sheesh. That might not even proc as a... Oh, okay. Proc as a red again. But now that's out of commission for a turn, right? So I'll actually take this opportunity to hit him. And it looks like Ice Storm is our play next turn. If he puts an item on this, we probably Javelin it. Unless it's like Dagoth's Dagger again, then we can Lightning Bolt it. But yeah, we have a lot of removal options and kind of guards in our hand currently. Looking like a creature. Okay, so Ice Storm for sure. Yep, pretty no-brainer. Pretty much a no-brainer. Let me know if you guys have played Alan Wake 2, or if you played Alan Wake 1 even, or if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. See how Lane God reacts to the classic Daggerfall Mage field lane. I like that card. The Vex City Pilgrim is a classic. I think Ren giving back an Ice Storm is pretty interesting. I also think getting the Conjuration Scholar on board could be pretty good. Could kind of force him into the field lane. Although, of course, he could just have some answer for it right away. And if I was a little bit more big-brained, I might not have hit him, because we might get an Ice Spike coming up next, but I'm not that big-brained. I'm just a little big-brained. Okay. So we may actually... Yeah, I think we just sacrifice this. It's totally fine with me. And now we'll play this. We got a viewer. Rick Deck 4 Ard. Welcome to the YouTube channel. I'm not live right now, by the way, but I just have a lot of people who've friended me, so I usually add people back. I think it might be Irem. And I kind of want to lock down the field lane. And we'll get back that Ice Storm, so we've got kind of a solid, I don't know, solid build-up in our hand. We definitely want to use this Ice Storm, so we'll try to remember that. Because this is the one that he can see. If you ever pull a card back with Irem, or really anything from the discard pile, your opponent can see it in your hand. So this is the Ice Storm we would like to use. Okay, getting rid of my ward is interesting. He might have the red year, or something that he wants to use eventually. Let's see how many cards does he have left? 43? Okay. Wow. Yeah, I feel like the red year might be coming up, so I'm not going to play anything else. I'm just going to hit him a bit. He knows that I've got this Ice Storm as well, so it's kind of a battle for who's going to overdraw first. Might be me. He might have some charge creatures, make me overdraw like a ton. Okay, he doesn't do that. Well, not the biggest fan of this move. You know, generally speaking, I'm the only one that that ever plays the red here.
Not this time.
So we'll just say that that would be silly. Iren didn't get a whole lot of value for us, but that's okay. We'll kill her. And we do have the Tinkering Scholar combo coming up. He hasn't seen us use Tinkering yet, and he doesn't know that we have another Conjuration Scholar. And so far our board's not super intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. Got 9 cards in hand still. So we're thinning it out, but again, definitely could overdraw. I think he's worried to play anything, though. He knows that this Ice Storm is coming. Okay. Opponent still doing a big think. Imbued Minotaur with the... Oh, wow. Battle Axe. Okay. Man. See, I feel like filth when I play this deck sometimes. We obviously can't have this Minotaur on board because too much of a threat. So we'll take that. Again, I've been vocal about this in the past. I feel bad about stealing other people's creatures. So if my opponent can beat this board state, yeah, there it is. See, got the intuition about the red here. So I had a feeling like he was holding back, and turned out that was true. So good on him. Does that on himself. I'll give him the nice play. And we'll hit him with our own Daedra of the Shivering Isles. I'll even throw a tome on her. And now, what do we do? We're at 42 cards. Okay, he's got a few less cards than me. I'm going to use both of my tomes. I don't really care. Double Piercing Javelin. That could have been nice to draw in Prophecy, but oh well. So we do have the 7/7, which is 7/7 with Drain, which is very intimidating. So he's going to have to Javelin that, or Fell the Mighty is a good option. Still, our opponent has not really had a chance to do much to us. And he does have that card that the Ancestor's Battle Axe procced onto. Whatever it may be. And double Tinkering is pretty cool here. So we'll start getting going with that, because I feel like we need to showcase it at least once. And one thing that's super cool about Tinkering too is it'll summon a creature, and the summon effect procs first. I should have done the grunt, but I wasn't thinking. Do we get to draw 2 cards? Okay, destroy a creature's cool. So we'll do that, and then we'll actually tinker up again. Deal 4 damage. And we will sacrifice and tinker once more. And this guy is probably thinking I'm a huge dick, but again, it's okay. Yeah, this is a deck I used to play a lot, and I had a lot of fun with it. I used to play a ton of Mage, so I kind of like going back to my roots every once in a while. Okay, he's got his own Mirac, which is pretty cool. Pretty unexpected. Thorana, though... So we haven't broken a rune yet. Thorana putting more javelins in could be very cool. Now, I kind of learned my lesson. I don't remember what the last video was with Thorana, but I kept trying to play lightning bolts with Thorana. Oh, it was the mono intelligence one. I kept trying to play lightning bolts, and I was like, that's gonna up my prophecy count. I was trying to be so smart, and didn't work. Didn't really work. Now he definitely, well, I don't want to say definitely, but he probably runs Unstoppable Rage just from the Dagoth Dagger and the Mighty Ally and Vigilant Giant. They all kind of point me in the Unstoppable Rage route direction, I suppose. Okay, we got the Ass Berserker, literally me. Opponent seems to be low on typical hard removal. Play a Javelin on that, and a Lightning Bolt on that. And so we just added 9 prophecies to the deck, which is, again, with 5 runes intact, that's going to be pretty hard to deal with. So we've gotten some pretty monster monstrous value out of Thorana. Now, one thing that Thorana does do that is extremely irritating is she will also, put a bunch of crap in your deck. So uh, we might not want 9 extra piercing javelins all the time. We might just want to find some of our higher end stuff. So I don't know, just kind of a danger whenever you're dealing with Thorana. Think about that. I'm going to play Lightning Bolt on his face. I'm going to go crazy. And I'm going to play my Wardcrafter over here. Now our opponent is at way more cards than me, but we do have, 6 damage worth of a board wipe, which is not nearly as good as his red ear, but it's decent. So my main hope is that he just gets overzealous and plays a lot of stuff. Now this is not necessarily a board state I would deem worthy of... Oh my god. Okay, this hand is kind of getting out of control. Double Conjuration Scholar seems fine. Or not double Conjuration Scholar, just Conjuration Scholar seems fine. I was thinking double Ice Storm still. This seems okay. Gavel of the Ordinator. Yep, that's okay. Now here's the thing, he is going to have to start damaging me eventually. Oh, okay. Nice. He's Singleton Crusader. So, honestly, almost certainly he runs at least one copy of Unstoppable Rage. I think I would.
Thank you.
Spirit Knife will draw me a card. It'll deal with a threat. And it'll give me something to play. Break his other rune. Okay, unless he can somehow miraculously provide 26 damage. He's got 13 on board. He's got 8 on board. He doesn't know that I have 3 Ice Storms. He knows about this middle one. Doesn't know about the other 2. And one thing that's fun about playing games online is there's no poker face required. You can just talk openly about what you're doing and what your plan is. Okay. And that's actually an excellent target to just let live for a second. Well, now that I think about it, maybe not. If I play Mage's Trick, it ruins my opportunity to... Should I take a gamble here? I'm going to take a gamble. If I play Mage's Trick, it ruins my opportunity to do double Ice Storm. Man, was not hoping for that. I think we'll play Piercing Javelin on this. And this is definitely kind of a long, grindy deck sometimes, so just be prepared for that when you play. I think I've said that a few times, but sometimes the wins don't always come easy. And I would love to use this Ice Storm. I know he's been holding cards in his own hand that he doesn't feel comfortable playing, with that Ice Storm in hand. I think we're going to hit him again. And I'm going to play the Ice Storm to kind of dispel some of his fears. So he's at 5 now. We've used 3 Lightning Bolts. There's 3 more in our deck because of Thorana. Okay, now he's ready to actually play. This will become a 6/6. So we need to deal with it pronto. Okay, there's another Lightning Bolt. It's getting down to the wire, truthfully. Let me play this Ice Storm. Oh man, can I risk this thing? I can't. I can't risk it. that's my move. I can't risk it being on the board because that thing could spiral pretty insanely. Let's say Stendar give me strength. Oh, and actually, good game. There come the Ice Spike. And we drew one of our Piercing Javelins. Excellent. So, good game, Lane God. Thank you for not leaving on me and entertaining my annoyance of a deck. We're up against Abercon, with the tag that shall not be named. Very cool background, though. I think this is one of the paid-for backgrounds, right? For card backs. We'll throw all of that back. Yeah, this is a way better opening hand. So I'd like to point out, too, that with that last match, I mean, it was a pretty long match, so maybe I'm misremembering a little bit, but I don't believe we relied too much on the Barilzar's tinkering. I mean, the one thing that we did tinker got stolen, right? Then we got the red year played on us. So we did play with tinkering, but it wasn't like it was the reason we won. It was actually more Thorana was the reason that we won, and just a lot of our removal stuff. So we were really adept at staying alive there. He's got a Shrieking Harpy in his list. Makes sense. I've got a Shrieking Harpy in my list. Why should I be the only one that gets to play it? I think I'm going to use my full Magicka. We're going to establish another creature on the board. This thing can kill my Schemer, but it's totally fine with me. It's kind of why I run the Schemer, is so that it dies. And it's important to note as well, we don't have the ring this game. So the ring has been pretty important for us. The ring was definitely important for us in the last match. Okay, so this was kind of his plan. Ah, okay. This was definitely his plan. Okay, so we're going to be going up against probably a pretty grindy deck. Probably something that we don't really want to go up against. I'll play the Mage's Trick on his face, simply because we have Ice Storm, so no need to really rush into things. And I'll establish the Crown Quartermaster. Usually I don't like equipping the Steel Dagger right off the bat. Sometimes your opponent might forget about it. So probably, yeah, definitely Betrays, probably Iliad Guardians later on. Lots to look out for in Telvanni. Telvanni's, I mean, I stay pretty far away from the meta of Legends. I don't really play much that's meta, if anything. So, yeah, so I think this is fine, right? This will be fine. Use the Steel Dagger, get a little bit of value from it. But yeah, I believe Telvanni is one of the more meta decks. But you'd probably be better off checking out a different YouTube channel if you want to be super concerned about the meta of Legends. And one thing that we really don't want is for him to sacrifice this cat's paw himself. Now he may, of course, be able to do that. Okay, this seems like a perfectly acceptable lane to use Ice Storm on as well. Totally, totally acceptable. And by lane, I meant field, just the whole field, the whole board. Totally acceptable board state to nuke. We've got a hand that looks pretty promising. I mean, we've got a lot of big ticket players coming up, so we've got Iren probably next turn. I'd like to keep Thorana to maybe combo with Spirit Knife, but if he plays something that must be Spirit Knifed, then we'll of course do that. Does he sacrifice? Wow, he sacrifices. I guess it was going to die anyway, right? It's a fair move. Okay, so we have Tinkering. We either bring back a Mage's Trick or an Ice Storm, and I am totally fine with either. Yeah, Mage's Trick's totally cool, because we can kill that. Get rid of any kind of betray antics that he might try on us. And now the Spirit Knife combo is a turn sooner, because Iren is discounting it. Now, is it likely that Iren makes it to turn 11? Probably not. Okay, see, that's that's something that needs to be hit with a Spirit Knife, unless he's got Squish the Wimpy. Okay, he doesn't have Squish the Wimpy, so definitely Spirit Knife. And I think a Golden Initiate to support Iren would be pretty good. Golden Initiate plus Tome plus Steel Dagger would be a 6-5. Wow. Flat Caius' Machinations. Hmm. I think we'll take this turn to get the other two schemers on board, just because the draw is really nice. And I suppose I'll hit him because we have such an immense card advantage on him. I do have 9 cards in hand, so I guess we'll give a little bit more attack power to this schemer. The only reason that I'm doing that is so that way that's the target for him to kill, because I'd like to keep some presence in the shadow lane. So if I put the steel dagger on the one in the shadow lane, he's more likely to target that one because it's got more attack power. It's just simple math. But we can actually get out a turn 11 Devaith. Ooh, Trader's Flame. He's really had a run of bad luck with his draw, I think, to be playing that without Betray. And oh wow, does he just have actions in his hand? That's very upsetting. Because if we check this out, so now, after I play this, it's got no target to go on but his face. Um, so if he doesn't deal with at least Defaith, yeah. Thank you. Don't want to say good game yet and sound like a jerk, but probably is GG. Yeah, if he doesn't deal with Devaith, then he's got a huge issue. I don't know why. He must have just not had any creatures. That's very unfortunate for him. Sorcerer's Negation, though. I mean, that technically keeps him alive, but, oh, he's got his own Tinkering. That's actually not too bad of an answer, but still, you know, we've got this. So we'll let him finish out his turn, but, Abercon is a good game. Oh. Okay. It's the one time he uses the Betray effect, of course. Yeah. You know, I actually had something really similar happen to me once. That reminded me. I'll explain it at the beginning of the next match. All right, we're up against Nikita Bach, and they're the Imperial Grand Tactician on Scout, with the Dark Brotherhood card back and a 100 card Scout deck at that. Sheesh. We will keep this opening hand. So the story I wanted to talk about at the end of the last match was um, this one time. I was getting back into Legends, so for those of you who don't know, I played Legends quite a bit during the beta. Maybe not quite a bit, but I played during the beta. I beat the story, and um, this game was actually in beta for quite a long time. But you know, I beat the story, and me being a big Elder Scrolls lore guy, I was, you know, pretty happy with the game, but I didn't understand a lot of the fundamentals of the card mechanics because, again, I was an Elder Scrolls fan. I wasn't a CCG fan. So there's this one time I was I was playing this game, and I had just crafted Daggerfall Mages because I was watching YouTube videos about how they were really, really good cards. And so I saved up a ton of soul gems and I crafted some mages. And I had this lane that was all set up. It was ready to go. And I had a Daggerfall Mage there. And I was like, I'd calculated this whole turn. And the idea of the turn was that at the end of it, by the end of my turn, I was going to have a Tome of Alteration by killing my own Daggerfall Mage. So I set up this whole turn. I had 4 creatures on the board. I laid my mage, or I laid a creature down. I killed my Daggerfall Mage with it, and then I realized that that's not how wards worked, and I just left the game because I was embarrassed. So I totally get it. You know, we've all been there at one point, and I'm by no means the best Legends player on earth, but I try not to have as many of those mistakes now. Although, if you saw my April Fool's Day video last year, you'll remember a pretty impressive brain fart that I had. Anyway, I haven't talked a whole lot about the match, so looking like I actually have no idea what we're going up against right now. Looks like, yeah, I honestly don't have enough information about this guy's deck or playstyle or personality or anything to comment on him even. Maybe heavy with guards
I
is the
like
idea.
to serve.
Scout in general is just a pretty powerful deck currently, though. Just because of Ayleid Guardians and Solitaire and all that fun stuff. I think we can get away with putting a tome on her and Crown Quartermaster over here to deal with the other guy. We'll kill this and that, and then we'll continue moving on. Oh wow, yeah, I just noticed my breathing issue I mentioned at the beginning with the deck explanation. It was totally not not here. Now that I mentioned it, it's going to come back, of course, but seems like we're doing okay. Alright, I'm going to Ice Spike him. Don't really see the need to provoke him too much. Now, I'm actually really sick of this Old Gate Warden here. I'm going to use a Ring Charge to get rid of it. I have 3 Ice Storms, some of you may have noticed, which is kind of insane. So my plan is basically just to kind of put myself in a weak position, have him play out his hand, and then I'll spend my turn reacting to his cards. And we'll probably get to a point where that's no longer feasible because Scout is all about ramping. It's all about playing big creatures most of the time, so not always something that you can do is wait against a Scout deck, but we're going to try it. Because currently my game plan, if I just started hitting his face, it's not really going to do me much good. Although, it could potentially... Okay, yeah, so honestly, I don't really like the idea of him drawing a lot of cards. But, on the other hand, I'm okay with it because it adds more... Yeah, I'm kind of okay with it because it adds more to the cards that he may lay on the board, right? It's another Mage's trick. Probably should have used it on this, but I'm more bothered by this thing's existence. And we've got a Barilzar's Tinkering, which is pretty cool. Also, I'm going to have to go to eat dinner soon because I am very hungry. Oh, see, that's kind of... Oh, actually, that's going to work out fine. I love to play with dead things has always struck me as just one of the most bizarre lines that any of these creatures have ever said. Okay, so he's back at 30 with 1 rune broken, which is probably good for me. So we'll play Ice Storm. And he's probably going to be pissed when I play another Ice Storm on him in a few turns here. That Imperial Armor is something to look out for, though. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
No man can deny his destiny.
Oh, Martin.
What do you want?
Yeah, we need to get rid of him. Glad we got
Fine, let's go.
Doble,
Nice
Piercing
try.
Javelins.
Care to go again?
Do that. I like getting my Schemers out of my deck. Well, not out of my deck, but rather the 4-cost ones out of my deck. That way the 0-cost ones can get back in. Grave Singer. If we draw a Mirac next turn, we steal that.
Stay still.
What's he gonna draw? He's gonna draw a Disciple of Namira. That's not too scary. Could be a good time to get a Devaith Fear out. Or we just wait. I think we just wait. Play Daggerfall in the Shadow Lane for once. Rather than locking down the field lane, we'll make the Shadow Lane unpleasant. And we'll just continue on our crusade of digging through our deck. Do quite enjoy the Eclipse Baroness. I think it's a very cool card. Okay, so he's getting to some of the stronger things in his deck. I think now, maybe. I don't know. I'll play a Golden Initiate over here.
Citizen.
I was going to say, I think now we might play Devaith, but I do like to play him when there's not a whole lot of question on what he's going to hit, which could have been fine now, but it's actually beneficial for him if I kill his Eclipse Baroness, so I opted not to do that.
Let's go then.
Okay, double Baroness is super annoying. But I can tell you, he's probably not expecting the double Ice Storm. Probably not expecting that, right? Or even just the single Ice Storm could be fine. We do this, this, this. Oh my god. This, this, this. This is an even better Ice Storm than I had expected. So now he gets a card. He gets 2 cards, actually. I get a card. And he's probably not expecting me to have a 3rd Ice Storm in my hand. Plus Ancano, plus Conjuration Scholar, and Tinkering coming up, so he's got some issues. Oh, that's disappointing. So he's not only got Oldgate Warden and Moon-Touched Guardian and Gravesinger and Martin Septim, but he's got Goblins in his 100 card deck as well. Wow. That was kind of a depressing read of that line. Okay, so we don't have enough to do everything I want, which is very disappointing. We do have this, though. I think that's a fine move. I think that's totally acceptable. If it turns out to bite me in the ass, you can say I told you so. It's about time we got a loss in this video. But I think we'll be doing okay. Well, that doesn't do it. Prophecy? No. Wardcrafter's good, though. Huh. Does he hit face? He does. And that is a great example of why I like to have these schemers here. Okay, so this is kind of non-negotiable, right? Let's draw first, actually. That's a good Legends principle. Draw first. And that is a great reason why. So, I'm going to hit here. And we are going to transform this. Sunken One's not great, so we'll sacrifice this.
I will return.
Awakened Imperfect is not great either. So what 10s do we have access to? Oh, you know what? Actually, I see a better option here. First plan wasn't so great. The second plan's much better, because we still have 1 ring charge, so we can get away with this. And our opponent has been essentially neutered. I got an extra card from the Eclipse Baroness with a discount at that, but this is going to be extremely hard for him to come back to, or come back from. And Ancano is waiting to blast whatever he plays. Also got this absolute just buddy over here. Couldn't think of the word I wanted to use. Okay, next card is 6 less with the Soul Rest Marshal. Ooh. Okay. So that is very intimidating, actually. Well, not anymore. He could still do something to us, but that was the top deck of all top decks, man. Wow. Territorial Viper? might do me in. I can't think of a 5 cost, but oh, Tazcad. Tazcad would be a god draw. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Okay, so now we can actually get going a little bit. Tome of Alteration here, and we've got double Barilzar's Tinkerings. We are just able to win though, so we'll get the win with that. And yeah, if anyone needs proof on why steel effects are really powerful, you can just take a look at that. It feels awful to play against, and I mean it's really effective, but man, GG. Okay, we're up against McSlats 123, the hero of Kvatch. They're on Crusader, of course, and we have faced Crusader already. It went pretty damn well, I'd have to say. Definitely don't want Spirit Knife. There's a case to throw both of these back, but I think with the ring, makes perfect sense to keep them. Barilzar's Tinkering is not really something you actually want on turn 2, but it is something that we have. We can definitely use it to turn McSlat's cards into something else if push comes to shove, and he is on 50 cards as well. Can't remember if I mentioned that. And Ice Storm has been a very big player here, so if anything, just let this deck be a testament to the fact that maybe Ice Storm is actually better than I was giving it credit for. Or not better, but there's still a reason to run it, for sure. Okay, so I am going to ring this out. I know that I said before that don't use your ring if you don't have a follow-up on your next turn, which I do not have a follow-up, but I do have a plan on turn 6, or turn 5, which is to Ice Storm the board. If this thing gets the ball rolling, though, with this Beast Form deck, ooh, that's bad. Yeah, if this thing gets the ball rolling with this Beast Form plan that my opponent is on, then we're going to be in some serious trouble. So it's not looking great now. We want to reserve 1 ring charge for turn 5 because we're kind of just getting a really bad draw right now. It's bumming me out a bit. But we do have Lightning Bolt next turn to destroy something that we choose. Not Mighty Ally. Okay. I like getting another Schemer down, actually. I think that's pretty solid, but I also like Lightning Bolt there to prevent him breaking a rune. Some other Beast Form cards that he could have. Man, I rarely play Beast Form. Ayla's Huntress could be one of them, or Hunt Mate, or whatever that card is called. That could be in his deck. It's a very solid card. So we'll just wait and see what he has to play. Garnag. Wow. Goodbye, Garnag. He was not long for this world. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to swing first and then play cards, because you never know if your opponent's going to hit a Prophecy. Getting that on Garnag really is a big tempo switch, I think. And now we can actually take some time to get our Golden Initiate back down, which in my opinion is pretty big. Okay. So this is actually kind of, it's kind of tough to deal with at the moment. I will buff up my health a little bit, so that way, at least with these cards, he can't break my rune anymore. But our opponent is putting up a very good fight against our kind of control-heavy Tinkering deck. So we'll see if this guy can be the one to bring us down. Ooh. Wow. Nice one.
But I'm not done yet!
Okay, so that puts me in a very tough position. Because I really don't like having a Frost Atronach in my hand. Now, he still can't break my rune, though. So that's very interesting that he would go all out and do that. Okay, draw first.
Nice try. Care to go again?
Daggerfall Mage. Yeah, this is looking a little grim. I can do Tinkering and Ice Storm. Actually, I can do... I'll hit him a little bit. We'll Tinker this. Yeah, that's like the worst 7 that we could have gotten. Just Thorana's stat line with no effect, and it's Stew more in neutral. Pretty bad card. Okay, that's much better. Honestly, not a big fan of the Piercing Javelin. I'd rather have drawn that on Prophecy, but this puts up a big wall, so he has to Javelin that himself. And he will be able to break my rune if he Javelins this, or casts it into time, or uses Fell the Mighty. But it does provide something that he will have to use resources on, which I'm totally okay with. Slats is definitely having a big think about their next turn. We'll see if they get something out. Be kind of a shame if they... Okay, so they're here. Wow!
But I'm not done yet!
God damn. That hurts. Oh! Man, the prophecy's really coming in clutch here. Okay. So, new goal is make it to turn 11. Make it to turn 11. I can handle that. Oh, Vigilant Giant with the Tinkering too. Be really good. Make it to turn 10 actually, if I can get away with not using a ring charge. Make it to turn 10. So, do I just play my Vigilant Giant again? What are the odds, really, that he has another Belligerent Giant? Like, I don't think Ancano's a good move anymore. Man, this is tough. Because I want to hit this with Ancano and then drop him so that way everything's in Ice Storm range, but I don't know, when anything could just be bounced back into your hand. Oh, I think we're going to go with the riskier double creature because I've been just getting these tossed back into my hand. So we'll see if he can deal with this. If he has some way to remove... Oh, so we both gain a little bit of something. Okay, this is perfect actually. So now he's playing kind of into my... Yeah, he's playing into my trap card a bit. And so I no longer actually feel... I no longer feel like I need to make it to 10, to turn 10 anymore, because I have this combo, which we have discussed already. Do this. Tome of Alteration. There's that move, and everything's pretty clear on how I need to be operating. So, Berserker of the Pale can probably go. What are some actions that I have? Lightning Bolt, Piercing Javelin, Tinkering. I'm okay to get any of those back. I think I'll use my Javelin here, maybe? Yeah, I'll use my Javelin here. I was actually thinking about Tome Ice Storm, but that doesn't seem necessary right now. Because now we have a 5-1 with Drain, and he's got to do something about that. We've got this Vigilant Giant in the back pocket. Wow, he's got another another Belligerent Giant.
But wait, there's more!
Okay, so we no longer have to worry about that threat. Of course, if he has... let's just get Mirak out, why not? Of course, if he has unsummon effects, like Unrelenting Force or Cast Out. That would be pretty obnoxious. Sorry if that picked up on the mic. I took a sip of tea. Okay, he kills this, so that's pretty disappointing. What are the odds we get another Mirac? High or low?
For one without scales.
Thank you.
You have my gratitude.
High or low? What are the other things we could get at 11? We could get Vanis. I talked about this in the deck explanation. We could get Vanis. Oh, you know what we could get with Vigilant Giant, actually, is Euraxia. So let's throw this down. See about... Well, does the 8/8 guard just make sense? Is that just fine? It might be. I'm kind of worried about this guy. I'm genuinely pretty worried about him, actually. See, what I'm worried about now is Unstoppable Rage. I'm worried about Gavel of the Ordinator as well. I don't know how much we can just rely on RNG for, so I am going to see... That's perfect. That's great. And I'll just keep both of those on the board. That's fine with me. Because now we can actually hit that, and then we can do Ice Storm. And I think my opponent's definitely got more Vigilant Giants. They're so similarly named. But shouldn't be too big of an issue. We also had Iren, didn't we? Double Ice Storm? Yeah. It is double Ice Storm. And now we have 2, 4, 6, 8 cards, and he's at 1 per turn while we set up our board, so we should win this one pretty decisively. Getting any of our actions back is good. It's not even going to hit me. We'll play Iren over here. Barilzar's tinkering, he sees that, so we'll need to keep that in mind. And then I'll get down my Golden Initiate, I think, over here. And we'll just kind of hide from him for a little bit. I need to start muting my mic. I apologize, guys. I've just been... You can probably hear it in my tone throughout this recording. I'm a little bit tired, a little bit sleepy. That's good for him. He's going to gain 2 cards. I gain a card as well, though. I'd love to find Thorana. We actually could get Thorana because of Laneth here. Just draw her because we want to. Okay. If McSlats would like to end his turn, I'd appreciate it. I do like McSlats is on the Hero of Kvatch. That's their title, so... It's a pretty solid title. I think you get that one from destroying Oblivion Gates, which is pretty aptly named. Okay, so how many Mage's tricks in my discard pile? None. Cool. Get rid of this. See what we draw first. Hive Defender is great. Elusive Schemer. Hive Defender. Shrieking Harpy. And I do not feel the need to... I don't even know what I was going to say. I just don't feel the need, apparently. It is, what time is it? It's like 8 something? I don't even know where my phone is, guys. Yeah, he's just going to leave. That was getting a little bit sad. But that's kind of how you have to play these. I mean, your opponents, just you grind them down and you win. So it's very control heavy. I've played Mage Control before. and um, it's always pretty fun to play. It's a little bit one-sided though. Okay, we're up against IFIC 1 or IFIC 1, something like that, the Destructive on Telvanni. We actually haven't run in, they're on a 100 card deck. We haven't run into anything that I would consider um, super annoying, actually. I usually run into stuff that tilts me, and then I'm just in a bad mood. But it's been very chill. I mean, I feel like I'm very, for being like kind of sick and under the weather and a little tired, I think that I'm very awake today when playing. Like I'm not really making too many mistakes. I feel like I'm finding plays that I otherwise wouldn't. So we're also we're one win away from getting out of the Mage. We would have gotten out of the Mage during the last win, I think, but I actually did technically lose a match. I queued up for a match about as soon as it's so stupid. Oh, see, that was a mistake because I'm talking. I should have played Wardcrafter. But I queued up for a match almost as soon as I finished that the match previous, the second to last from this one, and then I realized that I needed to go get food, and so I just auto quit the match, and it unfortunately counts as a loss because there's no way to draw your opponents in Legends, which is fine. It goes both ways, you know.
It actually goes both ways.
Feel the power within you. Your teeth have no bite.
Well, okay, I guess I understand that decision, but I probably wouldn't have used my suppress on that. Although, our opponent is on a 100 card deck, so who am I to judge? I don't like Ice Spike here. I really don't, because it will bust one of his runes. And he does not need more cards. He's got enough. Or she. Okay, that's what we like to see. You know what? I'm going to use my Javelin on this, I think. Just to get it off the board. Just to not worry about it because we have Ice Storm on the next turn. And maybe that'll be a little bit telegraphed, but I would like to just hit face. See what he does next. Yeah, that's fine. That might confuse him. It might tell him exactly what we're doing, but we're at a pretty nice health total. I didn't feel like we needed to keep the Golden Initiate anymore. Okay, I did not realize he had... Yeah, he did boost his Magicka with Thornhist Mage, didn't he? Well, that's a little rough, but we'll have our own coming out next turn. So I'm curious as to what exactly... Let's do a ring charge on this. Let's get the Daggerfall Mage out, and then we'll Ice Storm. Automatically break the ward, because we have a Wardcrafter coming up next. What did he pull out, though? My guess is Ayleid Guardians. That's probably the right answer. Oh, that's what he grabbed for sure.
I sense great power.
Okay, I haven't gone up against something like this in quite a while. So Wardcrafter Tome. Yeah, Wardcrafter Tome's kinda gotta be it.
Watch yourself now.
Wardcrafter Tome. I don't really want to use another ring charge. Because, let's say he swings swings, then I swing Spirit Knife. That's the idea. Another idea could be Loneth tinkering, potentially get a Mirak to steal one of them, potentially get Vanis, potentially get Kalgrantied, potentially get Devaith. So that's kind of where we're at. We're just hoping. Oh, Siege. Okay. I'm honestly infinitely way more forgiving of stuff like Devaith's experiments. Like when it's a singleton deck, I totally understand the need to play stuff like this. And I think just because Siege is a extremely strong card, our opponent is probably going to win.
You're going to pay.
So good on them. I don't really have a defense against this. My best defense would probably be getting lucky with Devaith, either hitting this or this. So let's see. He's got exact lethal. We can either do Spirit Knife, try to stay alive a little bit more responsibly. We could do a Mage's Trick and a Spirit Knife. Sorry, guys. Okay, I actually muted my mic for once. I think this is about the only thing I've got. And it hit it hit the only card that it shouldn't have. So we need to draw 2 piercing javelins from our 3 runes, otherwise we lose.
Praise to our unholy matron.
Sheesh. Tinkering.
I've noticed a flaw in your
Yeah.
plan.
Okay, GG.
Destruction.
Good game.
Well fought.
Okay, we're up against Prosti nickname, the Forgotten Hero. They're on Warrior. They are at rank 9, just like me. And they're on a 50 card deck. We've only faced 2 100 card decks tonight. It's kind of a weird night for Legends. I do have to say though, I was really excited to make the thumbnail for this video. Make it say that we didn't lose a single match, but that dream is now gone. But GG to my opponent. They got a pretty they got a pretty awesome win on me, I can't lie. So far this hand looks better than the one we had last time. But going up against aggro decks like this is always a little bit tricky. And we did get a lightning bolt, which is pretty awesome for us. Yeah, I think we want to kill that. We'll see if he has an answer for this coming up. But we do have lightning bolt, piercing javelin, and ice storm all in our back pocket here. And conjuration scholar to block up a lane. So imprisoned Deathlord. Wow. What a wild thing to be running. Is this a self-silence beast form deck? Is that what I'm seeing here? For those who don't know, because I don't think I've ever seen this card on the channel, when an enemy creature is summoned, shackle imprisoned Deathlord. So essentially the way you use this card is you're meant to silence it yourself, and then that effect goes away and you just get a 7/7 on the board for 4, which is pretty incredible. I've wanted to do a self-silence deck for a long time, but I just don't think that I don't have enough imprisoned Deathlords, and I don't have a few other cards that I would like to run, ideally. Okay, so he's trying to set up for something. We're going to do this. Now this is not going to count for our card being summoned, I don't think, but we do have Hive Defender. Bone Colossus, wow. Well, let's sacrifice one of these skeletons, and we'll get ourselves an 8 costume. Shrine Guardian's pretty good, deals with this threat pretty easily. And then we'll play our Hive Defender over here. And I'm not going to hit him, don't want him to get another card. I think we're perfectly fine at this kind of kind of balance we've achieved. Shrine Guardian doing a lot of work here. Okay, this guy's probably going to be a little bit pissed. Apologies.
The things I do.
This. And now we wait. It's probably the biggest tip that I can give you with these kind of mage control lists is just wait. Don't be too overzealous.
Ready to join the circle.
And you know what? I was making fun of myself for the mono intelligence video, but I want more lightning bolts. I want them, and I want them now. 10. Grave Singer, wow. So we're going to have a very similar situation to what we had in the previous game. Oh, never mind. Spirit Knife Thorana combo in live. And that's an instant concession. Wow. Totally understand. GG. Alright, we're up against Waytrack, the Daedric Master. They're at rank 11. So a few ranks behind us, but they are also on Monk, so that's kind of intimidating for me. I'm an avid Monk disliker. They are on 50 cards, though, so we'll see if they're up to the challenge. I do respect anyone who runs a 50-card deck, though. I think it's a much more poised way to play.
This might be handy.
Okay. I didn't want to throw this down on turn 1 because I was a little bit afraid of, you know, maybe he had a card like that, but we got the Shrieking Harpy, so kind of able to halt anything. Although Cog Collector, like, what am I worried about with Cog Collector, you know? I'll let him get a pilfer off, and then I'll kill it.
My sword hand
Okay,
itches.
but this is where the Steel Dagger can really come in clutch. It's pretty interesting inclusion in this deck because it's not something that you would generally assume to be in a deck like this. So he does get a card. I actually should have Ice Spiked there, but I was on my meme brain thinking that I was going to wait till turn 7 with Thorana. Alright, so our opponent is kind of... ooh, that's good. I really would like to establish some of my other creatures at this point, but I can't really deny that this is a good move. And we'll, of course, wait. And if he hits us, he might be crazy, or he's just got a really nice hand that can back it up. Fine. Oh, wow. Yep, he's not crazy anymore. That's a very smart decision. That is a problematic decision. So we need to kill that. That way he doesn't get any more cards to draw. And unfortunately, again, I could have played Ice Spike, but I don't want him to... Dang, man. Okay, Ice Storm. Ice Storm now. No, Ice Storm was so kind to me before. Oh, Piercing Javelin. That's good. Okay. So, we're playing cleanup. That's what we're doing. Piercing Javelin. And Wardcrafter. I almost gave it to the Wardcrafter herself. That would have been tragic. Yeah, Monk decks are very tricky to navigate, especially for me. They're tricky to navigate playing against, for me. Not too terribly tough to play, though.
If I can't steal it, it can't be stolen.
Okay. Yeah, any prophecy is very welcome here. Nice, there's the Ice Storm. Kind of wish I hadn't played the Golden Initiate now, but it's alright. Do we just go for it? No, I think that to be responsible, we've got to do something like this. Man, I can't do anything else. That sucks. Ugh, that really sucks. If I play Ice Storm, I don't have a follow-up move. Crap. Well, That's all we've got. That's all she wrote. He's going to summon something from his deck. It's going to get a +1/+1. So I think this is kind of, yeah, you know what I mean. This is hopeless. This is not good at all. Oh, and that's just really bad. So I don't like Monk. I don't want to play this anymore. And I think that's just something that I think that a lot of people might feel uncomfortable about at some points, is straight up leaving a match. But I think that at the end of the day, what the most important thing in any video game is your own mental health, because video games can be taxing. Like, I think that having penalties for leaving matches is ridiculous. Now, if you're playing a ranked game, sure, add a penalty, because there you kind of made a commitment. Like, I'm fine with losing a ranking point in Elder Scrolls Legends here for leaving that match, because um, I wasn't having fun with it, and it was pretty clear I was going to lose. So I'm fine to just exit and take the L and take a point off. But one thing that used to bother me so much in Black Ops 2, I think it was Black Ops 2, maybe it was 3, but they would give you like a 15-minute timeout if you left a match of casual. And it's like, okay, I'm playing casual Call of Duty. No one plays Call of Duty for the win. If I left a match, it's because people were bullying me with C4. So that always just irritated me, because I liked playing, but it would give me a timeout, basically say like you're being a bad teammate, and I never understood that. So I basically, what I'm trying to say is, I really respect that Legends doesn't give you like a turn timeout or something, you know. But yeah, we're here with Void 19, the pastry chef. They're on slightly over 53 card deck. Shrieking Harpy's a fairly good answer. He's also a Crown Quartermaster Enjoyer. And we did find another Ice Storm, so this is probably going to be another card that we're playing around. Play the Schemer over here. And none of these threats are really that intimidating. So we do have the Mage Mirror. This looks like a very classic Mage, very similar to my list here. So I'd imagine we're going to be seeing some echoes of cards that we're running. I mean, we're basically mirroring at this point. But us having the ring here is very important. So we're now able to do that. And now it's just a clear board. We have a few more cards than he does.
You can't defeat
Wow, this guy's doing pretty much the same thing I am. So what did I recommend when the video started, or when the deck explanation? A lot of people don't watch the deck explanation. But what I recommended at the start was to try to get rid of this thing if that's possible. Now, can I afford to do that right now? No. Simply because this, we're 8 points lower than him in health, so we need to do something pretty rapid. Now, we could do something fun and play our own Conjuration Scholar against him, which I think is what we're going to do. So, it's kind of a... it's like the meme where they're in the car and they drive past and see each other. Insert meme here. But yeah, so... Okay, so he's going to deal with that. And now, does he tinker? Okay, he's playing a Night to Remember, so that's an important thing to note. Probably good that I didn't do anything there. However, we are going to set up for a little bit of something. So we'll get this down, and we'll tinker. Ooh, Jim Stacy, so he's got to give me something. I always like seeing Jim. See what he does. He's giving me the Crown Quartermaster. And then we'll get an 8. If it's Ancano, I'll be super happy. It's not Encano, but that is very good. Especially if he can't get rid of this, because we can transform it with Barilzar's Tinkering. For anyone who doesn't know, Spider Daedra has the summon of filling your lanes with 2/1 Spiderlings, but if the Spider Daedra dies, then all of the Spiderlings die as well. So it's looking like, yeah, he's got an answer for that. Totally fine. Totally fine. Okay. So I'm now at the point where I'm officially annoyed with my opponent. I'm getting there. Because this is just obnoxious at this point. But you know, I'm also being kind of obnoxious, so I can't really ride my normal high horse like I do. I have to kind of mellow out. Okay, we're gonna play. What did I say too? I said to get rid of this thing. God damn it. I think this play is probably the only one that makes sense, and then we can play our quartermaster against this one, and our other surprise quartermaster against this one. And we do have a surprise Ice Storm. We've got Encano, plus Barilzar's Tinkering, so... Okay, that's not too bad. It's not? Okay, good. Just got a lot better. Okay. Easily... Okay. Alright, good. Conjuration Scholar gets back on the board. I'll throw one Steel Dagger there and one Steel Dagger there. And now I feel like we're doing okay. We're not great, but we have several forms of removal. He hasn't shown me that he's... Oh, he is running Lightning Bolts. So he actually could kill me, which would hurt my feelings. I don't like being killed, especially in my own recordings, on my own YouTube channel. It's very embarrassing. Like, doesn't he know that he's embarrassing me in front of my friends? I haven't played a Javelin yet, so the Javelin economy is a little bit stronger. We're not going to hit. We're going to wait to get the Tome of Alteration on this.
Careful there, friend.
Plays a Dry Wardcrafter. He's hiding something. I don't like that. Definitely hiding something. Being a little sneaky sneaker. Go here. Okay, he instantly gets a Prophecy. That's fine, as far as prophecies go, actually. And, do I throw down my Encano? Yes. Yes, I do.
I have many important things on my mind.
Yeah, I think that was correct.
By our service, we honor kind.
Okay, I still really don't like that he's hiding something in his hand. It's making me kind of, like, uncomfortable.
Your blood will spill.
Okay. Oh, it's just a Dark Rebirth. Alright. Okay. If everything works out the way... Oh my god, okay. If everything works out the way that it has in my head... 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... plus 2 is 13, plus 3, not really enough to justify it. So plus 3 is 14, 18. We can get him down to a decent number.
We'll see about this.
I would like to start with this. Give him a card. Play
I sense great power.
Our Lady here. And it might be... I think it's the Rana. this. Ooh, Manticore is huge. Sacrifice. We'll actually sacrifice this. We'll get this up to an 11. Ah, see, now I feel nasty. Sorry.
Victory is
Game's over.
yours.
Game's over. Sorry. I don't play that card. That's a no-go. I don't play that card unless it's from my opponent's discard pile to punish them for being stupid. I'm not gonna make somebody sit through that. That was just rude. We're up against Dima 2422923, the Mad. Dima, of course, being a reference to the Far Harbor DLC in Fallout 4. Dima is on Redoran, and they are on a 96 card deck. So we'll see what they're all about. Well,
Well,
this sucks. Oh, nice. Okay, so I think he's here, but I'm not sure. Okay, he's here.
Does war truly make a person stronger?
That card is not allowed to be here anymore. No, thank you.
Here we make our stand.
I feel comfortable enough playing a Daggerfall Mage against that.
They will meet their maker.
Okay, we are... Why do you run Tyr in a deck with High Hrothgar? Well, we're going to be going up against something I'm not prepared for. Because again, no support removal, so this is definitely the weaker side of the list.
I'm here to assist.
Ooh, 1/1 Adoring Fan.
I know a shortcut. I'll clear
Okay. I'm really banking on the fact that this guy is on like a near 100 card deck, so hopefully he won't be able to find anything of value.
You can't defeat me.
We're ready to do Tinkering though, which is better than the past two matches. Ooh. Yep. That is a good card. Okay. Play a good old tome on there. That. I'll even play another. No, I'll tinker first. Sunken one, no. Dark Seducer, perfect.
Can I carry your weapon? Shall I reboot?
Wow, he's back already. Jesus. Oh my god.
We must protect the Night Mother.
Okay. So he's kind of,
Your blood
I mean, he's
sounds
doing something.
fun.
It's very interesting.
Someone to cheer you on.
I'll do what I can.
Oh, really? What are you doing? Does this work if you buff up its... Okay. I guess I get it, but... It's just bizarre.
I
Play Thorana. Lightning Bolt. Ice Spike. Do all my shit that I want to do. He's got 81 cards still. I think we'll kill that and do that.
I'm here to assist.
Man, the Adoring Fan just is resilient right now. Bro does not want to be dead. Reanimating the... no. Dude.
Summoned again. I applaud you.
I have no fear of you, cowardly skeever.
I obviously don't have a face cam, but I wish that you guys could see my reaction to this right now.
Around the arena grounds. Shall we
We'll
find someone to cheer you on?
do that. There's another Ice Spike. There's 2 Lightning Bolts.
Now, where was I? Oh,
Um,
yes. Murder.
yup. Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt. Do one of those, and play the Daggerfall Mage over here. Actually, he might forget that I can actually equip this target with a Tome of Alteration. But yeah, this match has been interesting, to say the least. If he's able to win, you know, good for him. Mulamnir. See, like, 3 of his cards have gotten negative value from High Hrothgar. Okay, gets rid of my lady. One thing we do have to be careful of is we do not have a way to remove his Night Mother. Okay. Shit, man. I might have misplayed this. Should have put the Daggerfall Mage over in the Shadow Lane.
I assume you're
Umbra. Oh my god.
Face me, milk
Is this
tender.
Singleton? It's gotta be, right? Okay, well, thankfully we can just win like this. But holy shit. What an interesting match. That was a deck. Okay, well guys, I don't think we're going to be able to top that last match no matter how long I play Legends 4 in a row. So with that said, that's the deck. I think that we got some pretty good value out of a lot of the combos in this list. There, I think, was an appearance from every card for sure. Ice Storm was a very big help, which um, maybe I can Ice Storm pill some of you guys into playing that card a little bit more. But yeah, Mage is a super fun list, and I love blue. Might be my favorite color, so um, intelligence decks just really scratch that itch at the back of my brain, and I enjoy throwing in a few of the willpower cards as well. So it was a fun time, and I hope that you guys had a fun time with me. I will definitely be around, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. So thank you very much, and peace out.